So I painted these posts and they're getting close to being cured out for about 24 hours. They're pretty dry, but enamel paint takes sometimes several days to get really good. Now some guy called me about his mower. This is a Honda. I hadn't worked on any mowers of anybody's in a while. People kind of quit bringing things to me, but this is some kind of Honda quadra cut system. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Honda stuff. I know I'm probably in the minority on that, but you know, it looks like the wheels are kind of crooked. It's probably 10 years old or so. But he said the drive on it quit working, the self-propelled part, so he's been pushing it, and it makes all this crazy noise, which I think it has one-way clutches in this is rear-wheel drive style, and I don't know, I'm going to take it apart or pick it up. I think I'll pick it up on the lift here and look under it and see if I see anything obvious, and then we'll get back to our other project here soon, maybe. Well, I just took some covers off of here and was kind of looking into this. I did a little bit of research on YouTube. Most people are just a bunch of pretty kind of non-mechanical type people that were just looking into it. I tried to watch about 3 videos. All of them were too much for me to watch. I couldn't take it, so I thought I'm just going to look at it and see how it looks. So there's some kind of transmission in this that makes these turn, and here's, I know you can't see in there yet, on the back side of the wheels there's this gear, and it's just a solid gear that turns the wheels. Up here there's like a one-way clutch, sprag or something. You can hear it click, so that way you can push the mower, and that's probably what was making that clicking. And it's a one-way clutch, like a sprag, you know, like a transmission or something has, I assume. Up inside here there's just a little transmission type thing that's just a ring and pinion with, and the belts are hooked up. The blades are wore out bad. Nothing to do with it, but everything's hooked up. These cables and things, all they do is really tighten and loosen the belt, and then there's some type of a cable that changes to 3 different speeds. I'm not sure what that really does. I have a feeling it just makes it slip the belt a little bit or something. I'm not sure that it's really got 3 gears in there, but anyway, it looks like it'd be a pain in the butt. These are definitely not worth working on, I'm sure, but I may do it just for the fun of it. There's a snap ring at the end of this shaft that would pull that gear off. This is just where the wheel was bolted on. I've got a board in here in the way. I can't put that. I'm not real sure how you get those out. If you can tell up in there, but there's a washer right here that holds all this to the body. I don't know. I guess I'll try to take it apart. Maybe get it out on the bench, and it might be worth looking at this little gearbox just to see how it works and what's actually wrong with it. I doubt very seriously this guy would want to spend the kind of money that it would take to fix this little thing, but you never know. He might. And you know, I don't do this for a living. I am a mechanic, lifetime mechanic, you know, for over 35 years probably, so I'm sure I can figure this out. I don't know. Let's just take it apart and get it on the bench. So there's just a little snap ring right here holding this gear at the end of this shaft. So let's just take some snap ring pliers. It's hard to do this with one hand. Let's see if I can reach in here. Take this little snap ring out of the way. I don't have my glasses on, so this is hard to see, but there we go. Take the snap ring off. The gear probably has some washers, you know. Look like there's a Woodruff key in it right there. Just make sure we don't lose that. Lay it down here and get this little shield out of the way. And there's a couple bolts holding this on, but not real sure how you get the shaft out of the body. I just wanted to show that that's that little one-way clutch type thing we were looking at. It's just, I think it's just kind of how this deal here is made. I'm not going to worry about that. It didn't interest me too much, but let's get this apart and we'll see. Okay, I figured out how some of this come apart. I didn't want to bore you too much watching me figure it out. Kind of like Keith Rucker when he's taking a machinery apart. He doesn't show half the crap. But anyway, as far as what we're trying to fix is, it's just like a little transmission down in here. I don't know how well you can see in here, but I took the belt off. You can spin this real free, so you know if something in the transmission's broke or loose or something, it's not turning these shafts at all when you turn that. So these didn't want to come out. There's a long drive shaft or axle, I guess, on each end of this that had a snap ring and a washer here that I took off. Let's see, slid over here now. So if you can see, I just took this washer was on here. It holds that in there, and then there's a snap ring that was there holding that. I just slid that loose like this for the time being. Of course, something still wouldn't let that off. Well, I found out what that sprag or that one-way clutch, how that worked. It's just a real simple design. This washer's on here. That holds that together. Just to get ahead of the game a little bit here. That's what lets that come apart. I pulled this off. Washer, there's another snap ring right under there, which, let me see if I can set you down here. This is hard to do while you're holding this camera. Anyway, we can get that snap ring off of there, and then that's going to let all this assembly come off, I'm sure, so we can start getting this axle free. See there? Such as that. So, but just to back up this one-way clutch that I was showing you on the gear originally. Now, the way that works is, if you can tell, there's a little spring in that keyway there. It had this little Woodruff key in there. So this is a spring-loaded. No, you can't see that, but there's a spring-loaded Woodruff key in here. Kind of silly, but so that's how this gear is cut, to where you can notice that fits in that keyway, but one side of it is smooth and the other side catches. That way that spring-loaded Woodruff key rides in there. One way it's free, the other way it's locked. That's really all there is to that. Not real exciting, I know. That's just what I wanted to show you. That's how that worked. That's going to let this shaft free that way, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. That's just in case someone ever tries to take one of these apart and couldn't it's a little overcomplicated on how all that's together. Yeah, I'm not really excited about doing this job. I just thought, well, I'm going to look into it now, because curious minds like mine, I want to see why this ain't working. Alright, here's the transmission out here on the bench, and I'll show you how this works. I probably didn't really need to take this all apart. I just was curious about how this worked and why. I thought something might have been stripped out about it, but see, you can turn this shaft. Put some tape on here so you can just see when the shaft is turning easier. And when you spin this, nothing's happening. Your handle on the mower that you engage it with, pulls on this, and when it was all together, I was checking on that and it still wasn't working. But I think the cable's out of adjustment, or it's stretched. Because see, if I pull on this, if you can see this end of the shaft, my hand's in your way. Pull on this, it engages it. This is the way it turns. You see the tape is spinning when I do this. And if I turn this, of course, then it turns that. And it's not slipping. Both sides of the shaft are moving just fine. Okay? That's how it works. So I think the cable was probably either stretched out of adjustment or something. I'm going to look into that in just a minute. I took it all apart and cleaned it all up. I thought about taking this apart and looking inside it, but I don't believe we need to. I think everything's just fine here. Also, there's another cable that has your gear change, and here's the gear change. This is just 3 speeds. That's the fastest speed I've got it on there. All of them seem to be working. As long as you engage that, then it's moving, okay? Now, let's see what I did. Let me move this out of the way so you can see what we're doing on the mower now. Got it up here kind of high. Let me see how close I can get you. Probably can't see all of it at once, but yeah, let's just see how you do right there. Okay, so what I did is this is that cable right here. I've got the handle pulled down right now, and I measured how far that is sticking out, and it's about 2 5/8. See if you can see what I'm looking at here. See this? With it pulled all the way in, which is going to pull that mechanism I just showed you that engages the transmission. That's pulled all the way in. It's at 2 5/8 from the end of here to there. Now, up here, there's no adjustment in the cable that I can see other than, oh, that's loud, isn't it? See if you can see right up here. See this cable where it just slides in here? I'm wondering if I'd loosen this bolt, pull this all the way down here, because that's just attached to this handle right here. If I take all this slack out right there, that might make the difference. So let's see. Whoa, sorry. Let me see if I can be out of your way. So remember, that was 2 5/8 on the other end. So let's just loosen this stuff up here. I don't have another socket here somewhere, but I'm not sure where I put it. Let's just loosen all this just a little bit and see if we pull this cable down. This may not make any difference. I'm just trying to find a way. If I can pull some of the slack out of it, well, that's not going to do nothing. That's make it worse there. It needs to be up. Let's see if we push this up in here more. Looks like somebody may have already tried to get some adjustment on that. I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? If I push this up here some more, I don't know if that'll help or not. Probably not. Let's see what we got here. No, we've got more than we had. So, I'll slide this down here. It might actually make some kind of difference here. I think it will. Let's tighten that up now. I've got a lot of extra slack here, but it may not matter that much here. Let's see. Tighten this up. Probably be best to get a new cable for it. I might look into that if this don't work. Yeah, I didn't know exactly how this worked. That's why I'm taking all this apart. I ain't got nothing better to do today. Anyway, I'm off work for a couple of weeks, and there's nowhere to go on vacation because this goofy Rona stuff going on. And my wife's at work. It's 102 degrees or something outside. I got it, I don't know, it's about 85 in the shop here. So anyway, let's look down here now. It looks like we've made an adjustment. You see the cable here now, it's pulled It's pulled in considerably now from what it was, and when you loosen it, see what it goes when you come back out to loose. It's it's about 3 inches when it's loose, just 2 7/8. When you pull that in, then it pulls it in to about 1.5 inches, 1 5/8. So we've made about 1 inch difference in that adjustment just by doing that. So yeah, it was a lot of trouble, I know, but I ain't got much to do anyway. This is an 80-year-old man that just didn't know who to call to get him to get his mower fixed. He's in good shape. He's an 80-year-old guy. He said, I still can push it all right. He said, it'd be a lot easier if it worked the way it used to. So just trying to help the guy. I may not even charge him for this. I don't know. If anything, I might charge him $50 for all this trouble. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put this back together and I'll bring you back and let's see if this makes any difference. All right, go ahead and change these blades on this thing. They're wore out. Yeah, I got it up on the lift because I can't stand crawling around in the floor. I've been out mowing, so I'm kind of dirty. Okay. I don't know if you can see up in here. Probably not. Let's just look. See how ragged out these blades are? And like I said, I've never done this or seen these Honda blades before. They seem kind of complicated to find. But I believe it's a 14 millimeter to take them bolts out. So I think I've got one on the impact here. Just a little 3/8 impact. Let's see what it does. Okay. Yeah. You don't mess with that middle bolt. And that belt that drives the transmission, I believe, really ought to be changed. But anyway, let's get out here and look at the blades. What are you doing, looking at the ceiling? Look at that. Yeah, I got other projects laying around here, don't I? I got some new metal for my plasma table, so I'll do one of my next projects here, I guess. Okay. Anyway, I couldn't find any of these here in town anywhere. Nobody seemed to stock anything to do with this mower, so. Of course, online you can get about anything for this particular mower, but anyway, they list several models. This is a HRR 216 some mod. I believe these are probably all the same for quite a few of these mowers. He said, I got these at Home Depot because I didn't want to wait for a week. You know, Amazon's gotten bad about taking a week to get anything. There goes. So, these came off. I think it may say on here. Nope, I don't see any words on it that says what side is what or anything. So, I know this is the upper blade. I'm just going to look at the old one and see if I can decide. Okay. So that was up like that. I don't know why they need two blades like this. I don't quite understand that. I don't know. I guess they've got some reason, but so that one sits just like it's sitting right there. It looks right. The other one sits on underneath it like that. Normally, anytime you put a lawnmower blade, the cutting edge is going to be closest to the ground, and this edge is kind of what sucks the grass up and helps deflect it out of the, throw it out. So that's the way they sit. So this one just sits on top of that one just like that. Here's the two bolts that came out. I believe they said the torque spec is 38 to 42, somewhere around 40. I'm not torquing this. I've got many moons in of mechanic work. I know how to tighten something. So, but if you want to torque it, 40 foot-pounds or thereabouts will work. Oh shoot! Sorry, I'm wiggling you so much. I'm not going to make you watch me put bolts in, but if you want to see, this is how quick and easy this job goes. I'm going to just stick this right back in here. And I'm hoping it'll go quick and easy. I've never done this on a Honda. Seems overcomplicated to me, but whatever. I guess these mow pretty good. I don't know. I've never had one. I don't do a lot of push mowing. I've got a Skag zero turn that I use outside. Only got one or two little spots that I use a self-propel walk behind. It's a little Cub Cadet. It's been pretty good. It's not anything great, but works good. All right, that's plenty tight. If we wanted to check the torque on that, we could. I ain't gonna bore you with that. I guarantee you it's right around 40 foot-pounds. 40 to 50 foot-pounds right in there, that's fine. So let's let it down and let's see if we fixed it. Remember, the whole reason it was in here was because the drive wheels wouldn't go. So let me get it down off of here and I'll see how it works. And through the magic of television, it's down. So let's just set it down off the lift. And you can hear them little clicking one-way clutches in those wheels like I was showing you how that worked. I went out and pressure washed this a little bit and got it cleaned up. So let's see if she'll run and if the drive works good. Let me make sure you can see. I'll go across the shop and see if it's working now. Remember, really all that was wrong was this cable adjustment here on this, which is the clutch engagement of that transmission. That thing's pretty tough to pull. It's got that spring you're bucking. Anyway, let's see here. We can choke it and see if it, probably don't need to. And it's working fine. Working perfectly fine. The only thing I think I may have went over, I'm not sure, is the belt angle on that transmission. Inside there, it's got a little plastic pulley on top of that transmission that we had out. It's getting thin, really wore thin because the belt angle is pulling down. It's got a funny angle, and I think the only way I can see that that angle would get a little bit better, probably could put a bigger belt or a newer belt. I don't know what the original belt looked like, but the belt is so far down inside that sheave there that it's letting that transmission get at a funny angle. If it was bigger, it would hold it, kind of like tighten the spring that's pulling against it up. It looks like it's been running that way a long time, so I'm going to leave it alone. He's already got enough involved in this. Probably, I know I've probably spent 3 or 4 hours messing around with this. I even cleaned it up, pressure washed it. I'm just going to charge him about an hour of labor, about $40. It's just something I do as a hobby, more or less. So anyway, I don't know if this is worth sharing, but if you're interested in, really the only reason I tore it down is to look at it and physically figure out how it all works. And then I was able to figure out that the cable was all the problem was. The cable adjustment, or the way it was pulling that clutch lever on the transmission. I didn't need to tear, I know I didn't need to tear all this down now, but at the time I didn't really know how it worked. And so after watching a few videos, wasting 30, 40 minutes on YouTube, I decided, I might as well just go out there and see how it works. All that garbage I was watching wasn't really helping me that much. But anyway, I'm done with this. I'll go get it back to my customer, and we'll see y'all with some other things I've got going on in the shop a little later.